So it's got to sit in there for a week. Then we'll take it out, rest it, put it in our charcuterie chamber for a month, and see what happens. So again, we don't really know what exactly we're looking for, but we found somebody that does. We're partnering with Eric from Two Guys in a Cooler, and he's apparently some meat wizard. And he can figure out what we're doing right, what we're doing wrong, just from a picture of us cutting it and the cross-section of it cut. So Eric, this is for you.
Hey everybody, my name is Eric with Two Guys in a Cooler, and thank you First Build. Very excited to be a part of this project. Let's go ahead and take a look at your meat and see what you got going on.
So before we show off the final product, let's go back in time and show Eric how we got here. All right, so the pork's been in there for a week. We're gonna take them out, we're gonna unwrap them, we're gonna let them sit for an hour or so, and then we're gonna take them back and put them in the cavern. So these have been sitting out for about an hour and a half. So now we're gonna take one of them and wrap it up. So we found some differing opinions online on whether you should or should not wrap them. So we don't know what to do. So we're just gonna try it both ways and see what happens. Before we put them in Cavern, we got to weigh these. So we're targeting a final weight of about 30 to 45% less than what it currently is right now. All right, so I'm gonna cover it, make sure no light gets through the window. We'll leave it there for 2 or 3 weeks. We'll weigh it, see how we're doing, make sure there's no bad mold growing on it, and see how long this takes. Hey guys, it's been about 2.5 weeks. I weighed a couple of our pieces of meat, and they're at about the right weight. So I'm gonna take them out, we're gonna take them up to the kitchen, scrape the mold off, and just thinly slice it, and see what we got. I'm not responsible. I'm not responsible for this.
Tastes really good. Yeah, nice job.
I have poor night. We're also going to try some cheese in Cavern. We got some Gouda in there right now. We actually pulled the block out earlier. We're really excited to see what it can do. We tried some and it turned out amazing. We think cheese is going to be a great fit for this product, and we're excited to do more in the future. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. That's good.
That's really good.
So it's a little softer than we really think it should be. It's a lot softer than like store-bought. So it might need to stay in a little longer. So I'm gonna take this one and I'm gonna put it back in, and we'll take it out in another week or so. Here's what we got so far. It's been in the chamber for about 4 weeks now.
All right, so let's get started. What we're looking at here is a pork tenderloin that's been dry cured, and I'm super excited that the team used a pork tenderloin because it's very unforgiving. It's basically 100% lean meat. And so anything that's wrong in the chamber is going to show itself relatively easy in the pork tenderloin, in the loin, in the eye of round, muscles like that. Pork tenderloin's great because the turnaround's pretty quick. You don't have to wait 2 or 3 months before it's finished. So looking at it, first thing that I see is mold. The chamber must have the right conditions for it to grow mold: temperature, airflow, and humidity. And it looks like the mold coverage is appropriate. When I look at the center cut, if you look at the color of the center cut, you'll notice that the exterior is a little bit darker than the center. And all that means is that something is going on in the chamber that's causing the outer surface to dry a little bit faster than the interior of that meat. And this actually doesn't look too bad. I mean, I've seen some pretty severe cases. Severe cases will actually produce a crust that don't let moisture escape, in which case the center of your meat will stay raw and will probably spoil. But this is just a slight case of dry ring around the edge. And the reason that's happening is because the conditions inside the chamber aren't perfectly dialed in. And for the most part, this is considered acceptable charcuterie, but we can get it better. My guess is that there's an airflow issue. There's too much airflow in the chamber, which is creating this sort of environment that allows the moisture to be released from the surface a lot faster than it should. And my second guess, because there's always like a second culprit, is humidity. We need to bump up that humidity just a little bit more so that they could dry a little bit slower and have that nice even drying. Two areas that we're definitely going to want to pay attention to for the Cavern. Let's continue. All right, there we go. So now looking at the slices on the table, you can start to see that dry ring sort of become a little bit more present. This is totally edible, so I hope you guys at least tasted your charcuterie because I bet it was delicious. Matter of fact, let me show you that same cut. I actually just happened to finish one here recently, and I'll show you what it's supposed to look like. And that's an example of a perfectly dry cured piece of pork tenderloin. From the center all the way to the edge, dried evenly, very tender, very tasty. And that's a direct result of a chamber that's dialed in. And I think that's our goal for the Cavern. And when it comes to the Cavern, I gotta say, I am incredibly encouraged by this video because it looks like we are almost there. Maybe some slight modifications, controlling the humidity a little bit better, controlling the airflow, and this thing will be dialed in and making absolute rock star charcuterie in no time. Thanks a lot, guys, for including me in this project, and I can't wait to see what you produce next. See you later.
Thanks, Eric. We'll definitely take your advice for the next prototype. We're going to make this thing as best as we possibly can. We definitely have a better understanding what we're doing now. In the meantime, everybody else, watch our other videos. Stay tuned. We'll keep you updated when we get this thing done, or at least at the next level. And see you next time.